Good. Now I'm going to give you guys about 45 minutes for a dialogue. And for that, I would like to encourage or invite the final individual to come up here so that way we can answer questions, okay? And at this point, when I'm done bringing them up here, and my job will end, and then Rochelle, your job will start. Now, before I say goodbye or hand this over, I wanted to thank Mai Shua for translating for us today. She did this free of charge. Okay? Thank you, Mai Shua. Mai Shua Veng. 我做咗咪說頭話廚房咁我真係你自己都幫着咪話幾多啊？咪是幫幾多？We live in the same town. And may God bless you, and hopefully that will can have you to help us in the future. And I know the cost of their service is about $1,000, and I know we couldn't afford them. Okay, we have researched high and low, far and near. We found her, and she said, I will come. Thanks to Hua for finding her. Okay. Let's see. I want to invite Jean Blanc. Could you come up here? Vaughn, Dr. Fingsu, and Van Meng Dewa, and Jean Kai, if you would come up here too. I'm inviting these elders because they know the Hmong culture best. And I'll be here too, okay? And Hua, could you come up here too, please? Please, come up. You. How many Hua do we have in here? Raise your hand. Only one. Come up. Okay. And let's see. Ma, get your body up here. Do as you're told. Thank you very much. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, Rochelle, I would like to invite you up here again. And I encourage you to ask questions. Okay? Vì lúc xưa nó nu nó mà chia thì bây giờ tôi thua lên tức là tôi dễ là đã chỉ nu nó mà hiện nu à thì nên mà lúc đã chỉ nu hay thì cái này có gì xảy ra tao nên có chỉ trong này bảo nên họ lựa nó là ý mình hay là chỉ lấy cái chỉ biết chỉ tu sửa. Today is to clarify misconceptions. Today is to answer your question, any aspect about Hmong 18 Council, and these are leaders for the Hmong 18 Council. Here you go, Rochelle.
Okay. And these, I don't need to stand up on this, I don't think. These are your respected leaders, and we open the discussion now. If there are any of you that have questions, I encourage you to raise your hands or to stand up. We do have microphones here in the front, and anything, we're open for anything. Anything is, there's nothing that's off base. The only thing is, I ask you to remember, again, this is respectful, and we are trying to present things in a manner that everyone will be able to answer in a good way. That's how we say things, in a good way, okay? So, anyone, do we want to start? Go ahead. Give your name, please give your name and anything else you want to, you know, who you are and that sort of thing.
Okay. Yajong. My name is Susan, and I'm from thinkmarriage.org. I'm the president. It brought back very good memories to see the slideshow of our workshop. I have a suggestion of something you might want to consider adding to your protocol. And that is something that I think is very important in domestic violence situations. We have many resources in this country to assist the victim or the victims, which in the very most dangerous kinds of domestic violence are almost always the women and the children. In those situations, though, I think, especially for the Hmong culture, to help the victims does not solve the root cause of the issue. The root cause of the issue is the person with the anger problem. And there are some very, very good resources, very good programs that can help a person like that. a person like that needs professional help. And those programs are almost never attended voluntarily. Almost always a person has to be forced into those programs. If the Hmong culture is interested in helping their own without the embarrassment of the American legal system, I think a very good thing to do would to bring all the community's pressure to bear on the person with the anger problem, and to do everything you can to force that person to get the help they need. Because when you solve that problem, you will heal the entire family, because the family is one system. So I think you should add in every effort to take that man, in this case, in the dangerous situations, out of the family, get him help, and get him cured so that he can be a good husband and father for the family. And I'd like to know what you think about that suggestion.
Our Secretary Linda, right there, will write down your suggestions, okay? Thank you, Susan, so much.
Okay.
My name is Tai Vu, Chifu Vu, the elderly. Cú mà ý lo lù cú yên nụ nè thì chỉ vấn đề lo lùng đấy mà cú cho hay áp lo vấn đề sư hay thì cú lo lù cú hay nó nữa thì nụ nó nên mua ít cho thấy cho sự bệnh này ít cho rong cơn gầu chỉ lo cú yên nụ đó nè mà cú hay thì can thủ thay kỳ hay thì bé mua ít tuần xài nếu như mua bệnh sự nếu mua cái cho cái gì thế nào nên bỏ cả sai nữa là ô từ bắt hàng rồi không có ý sinh chị nè thì cả nó là nè cho thì cả nó sẽ hỏi nè thì chỉ cả nó là chịu đi trả thì chỉ còn năm bây giờ hài lý nè lưu xia luôn chữ nữa chỉ lo luôn đấy lo quý anh nung. My question to the leader here is that tomorrow if we have a lady or a girl who have outstanding personality education that wanted to be the president of Hmong 18 Council, would these leaders support it, and would our brother and sister at home would vote for it? That means, put your money, your mouth together. Because I think one of the fear of younger today is that Hmong family, it's playing a inferior system where we continue to oppress girl, even though we say we like you, but we will get invited to eat the first quarter meal. And we cannot run that by years after years, and I think we need to prove that. So that would be my question to them. But I wanted to say this, Dr. have mentioned about the 18 Clan Council. I'm one of those people who have work on the other side with the community-based organizations, particularly the MAA, the Mutual Assistance Association in Wisconsin here for the last 30 years, to try to create program and bring Hmong and refugee to life, to rebuild their life here. The reason I say this is to support Dr. A statement that we are Hmong, and the Hmong 18 Council is part of Hmong life. It doesn't matter if you are, what profession you are in, what political arena you are in, we need to work together in the umbrella of the 18 Council to make better life for Hmong people and for others. So I think Hmong 18 Clan Council become very vital part in the life of the Hmong people throughout this world. Okay, so I wanted to echo with Dr. Secondly, I would say that Dr. mentioned about some timeline in the past. And I just look at it past 200 years. I'm not 100 years yet. Today, in the history of the Hmong people, we see this Hmong Council have announced here and have put before us here to have 18 chief clan who are men and 18 chief clan who are women. This is the day that I think it's the first day in the whole world here that would have this structure. And I think if we can put this into practice, we will bring Hmong family, husband and wife, son and daughter, to the Hmong family where nobody wanted to depart from the Hmong family. And I think we have a good start today. We have 4 female on the executive team, and then we even have, I think lesser, 3 male on the executive team. This is to say Wisconsin have put its money and amount together, and hopefully, tomorrow would be better life for the rest of us. I would say today that I'm disappointed not to see many of the Hmong advocates here, although I see 1 or 2. If they are able to be here today, I think they would go home with happiness, with fulfillment, because Hmong advocate is a very important part of life, and we will continue to need that. The shelter, the police, and the 18 Clan Council, it's all part of a Hmong social life, and we cannot work, a country one against the other. So I'm very happy today that I'm also on the advisor of the 18 Clan Council, and we're trying to create equity for Hmong and for others here in America and the world. So I'm go back to my question and say, what do you support for, a Hmong girl running for a president position from your heart, because that's going to be your daughter, and it's going to be your son or daughter. If you say, yes, we would do that, I think making this statement will help our children feel better. So whoever want you to take a shot with that. Thank you.
Có thể thằng cái lù na, cụ thọ tê ông đây, thằng cái lù hạt tiề, bên mong có gì sang, bên bù ít tuần xài lò ít tuần pan nè từ, lò cho bên mong có gì sang, và tụประธานmong có gì sang,คนนอbên mong có gì sang, khi họ trong lù tỏ số lần số tụ lo tụ giàu, pan nè chỉ năng tan cho, ta chỉ tuần đã chỉ do nửa giờ nửa giờ sống trong tàu, do lon de la mấy bê sừng sang gà nửa giờ sống trong thì tàu, chỉ nửa sáng giờ sống nói chỉ là giờ tàu na, do từ sáng, và tụ president tụ chọn mong tận đây nó, do chủ nhà dân thiệt, do chủ kia la mấy bê sừng, de la mấy bê sừng tê tê mình ấy cho nông de nửa sáng giờ sống trong bê sừng thiên gà nửa giờ sống trong, có số đời những ba xe khi họ trong lúa tàu, những cái tận đây cho lúa tàu thế.
Let me translate real quick. He said that the Hmong 18 Council do have opportunity for young ladies to come to step up and run for the office of the president with the support of the Hmong community in Wisconsin, and she has to be voted to be there. Then she has the authority to be here.
Cô sa thành gì đồ lò lụa tiề, bộ bùi tụ tụi tụi sai từ cần đời xe lọ và tụ bất thành. Bộ nhớ trâu trái trái sinh Wisconsin sắp phá của dân nó bông chê, bao nhiêu thế chỉ nên giờ lúc nhiều giờ đi trái trái là mua trái tua ở tụ bất thành á, bao nhiêu tua tàu tí xí, that's based on the qualification của người mua, chỉ tua tàu, chỉ riêng chỉ giờ thì chỉ nên ở đây bao nhiêu.
Based on qualification, she can. If she fulfills the requirements of the Hmong 18 Council, she may run for the president. Anyone.
ลอลูมาแต่อีตุนชายมั่วคนสามารถเยอะหล่อมงอัวตุจ่อหอมงกุยใส่โจกูมากูจิตีลุ่มไปเหตุตุนชายจะยตุนชายที่ตุตู้หล่อตุนนี่เยอะหล่อมงจ่อโจกุยใส่เด้ออียอนึกข้อ qualification อ๋อยจุดโจสัมภาษณ์เช่นเนื้อปวดมั่วเขาว่าอยู่เนี่ยหอมงติเตี้ยโจข้อมงเขาเฉยเยอะอีข้อว่าตัวเจหนึ่งมงไอ้ตัวหนึ่งเดี๋ยวจะให้ตู้หันชาย nửa khó qualification tới rồi nửa giờ ít tu doctor nửa giờ ít tu sociology tu đó chỉ là xí bằng ta chỉ yếu là cho sở định nu nửa thì mong khá vào nhiều giờ đó chỉ nửa bữa tây tàu hòn đảo cho nửa thiết lý mua khó và yếu là tổ tàu mong vì đó có nửa chỉ và ít khó qualification để khó cái cần đào sư họ nửa khó qualification để yếu giờ bao giờ mong chọn trả thì mong cho va nhiều nhau mong chọn trả giờ đó chỉ tiền.
He said, beyond qualifications, this person, this young woman or young man, must have the best interest of the Hmong society at heart, and also he or she must know the value of the Hmong society, so that way he or she can lead the Hmong society with effectiveness.
Abi lulu là trang trai cứ sau cái sai trang đã giờ bị tu sau mình muốn say à cú chỉ sau hạt women and men nó cú sau ta link to qualify nó sự that meaning that chỉ nó trai của phụ chỉ trai gì nên nó chỉ link to qualify chỉ ở đâu sựแต่是呢主要อันนี้被就只想lao lên đã cú hãy đủ lụt lên nó thế ra yếu sáng là yếu sáng sẽ lại được mà từ yếu ô tô mong được thơ cho mà nếu tao ở nó khó rèn đó nó nè nếu tao ở nó chỉ là ta cũng cứ tao PhD là lên đó chứ cú tới ở tao cú khó rèn lộ từ thơ cho mong khó ở mong khó ở khó rèn đó mà nhưng ở lên cú hành đầu ra là nếu phụ chấm nhờ giao tiền ở cho lão nếu ở hậu lử làm gì tăng cái tàu băng mong có nếu visible cho mong phụ lệ mà nếu sớm mà băng tàu mong bỏ lên nó chạy lên đó hai nếu một lúc xa lu mong thật ta cú cho đầu băng tuân chạy luật cần được cái xa mong hà cho hậu lử nhau Washington DC cũng chính là chân trái một lúc xa mùa ha chân trái một lúc xa lu mong gần gạoเลยbây mong hà lu cú mình tu bù chặt lúa cứ chân trái tổ cho picture đó cú hà lu sư chân trái tu qua gần gạoเลยละviệc vô qua vậy cha bố lu cho tôi này cứ trâu chỉ chọn được gần gạo cú chỉ cho slide cứ nó blog chỉ cho bên mong ấy mình sẽ tụi mình tụi một phải plan đó cú cho cái slide này cho tên nó chỉ sai chân sai để qua gần gạo chỉ cú bù đó là bị tả nó chỉ là tả thâu lưu tả nó là gì bị cho cú bù giờ cho tổ bị cho culture rồi rong bị cho cú bù giờ tổ bị mong bị tụi gì luôn này na chỉ giờ lên đây mà bị tả nó mà đồ cú này ở alo mình mà là nia thâu ít tu nát chế chỉ nia thâu ít tu thợ chọ nó chỉ giờ lên đây mà bị cho coi giờ tao flexible cho tu cú đó giờ ta nia ở bên mỗi tu thợ chọ lại mà nia chỉ muốn chơi lục khúc hình tu cái nàoเลยเหรอchỉ cái tao khóc cho cái tu cú nó cho họ thằng đó bị văngหัวชิโลละนะmà này mà cú sa cho mấy ta tả nó bị chân chế ý dạng gạo điละchỉ là linh đó bị tao sư phụ hà lu sư rong chỉ là cú hiện doctor là màแต่是cú tu có buồn nó hai ư mình mà ý dạng chỉ cứ cú tao khóc ư nó okay sau đó cú hiện doctor là cú chỉ một khóc kinh thế này you right mấy cái cú tu kinhแต่是nó là cú hạt cho mấy ta cú yên khóc cho cú tới mình nhớ nó nút thì cú có buồn chỉ tao là cú yên khóc cho bên nó okay mà yên này mà bé tàu chú phụ chỉ lên nó cú yên là nôn rút tem miệng tu ở sư tem miệng tu mình sai ở sư mấy tu bông mông hạt cua tàn cho vàng cú chỉ tàu bụi tu thay cho em muốn rút tem miệng yêu ở sư em bôi của cậu lần chỉ là cậu tôi sư cho cú hà lịch cha cú hạt bôi ta cú yêu tàu ôn nọ thì cú chơi mình nhiều nó sơ nu bôi cho nó lú chỉ bôi ta cú yêu này rong thì bôi vô chỉ cú lấy nọ sơ cú cho cho át luôn cha ấy của tụ khử chế nụ bộ chỉ cho là mình nhỏ chịu vô tụ của chế của những chỉ lấy nọ lấy ta ok mà giờ mà tụ tôi này giờ lụa nọ mà mua tụ kế lú pe hai nên thật ta lấy nó nè ok tôi này mua chỉ lấy cái liền mua nhẹ mua là mua chỉ lấy liền ok mua chỉ mua là mua chỉ lấy liền mà pe yêu tụ nào lúc pe tụ thấy cho chỉ hạ có bộ cái gì đấy nè ok ở trong đó.
That is so long. He said beyond qualification and beyond 35-year-olds. You can have a degree that does not qualify you to be in this role, the president. You must have the passion. And nowadays, young women or women in general play many different roles. And so if you are a leader, you are not only a housewife, but you're also the leader, and therefore the men gonna have to be strong and supportive, and gotta help cook and take care of the kids. You can go ask my husband about that. He's not happy, of course, but that's okay. You know why? Because this encouraged the women to step up and do that. So basically, he said passion you must have for the Hmong people, and beyond that, education and qualifications.
Của hãy lò đồ thằng Thái có học khoa sinh nhớ con cái khoa sinh cho tù future tận đến là nếu muốn gì mong có gì gì nhau lúc tới chờ America nó giờ lúc tới chờ freedom democracy bao nhiêu chỉ nên sẽ đợi mua cho trái là vô tàu thì dạng có ta chỉ nếu chủ yếu vô lý bắt ta long phát tại châu Hải yếu chủ yếu bom bả thầu niệm thiết tàu chứ hai tụ còn đâu cần tới xe tụ chỉ cần xe là gì vậy đã chỉ là有被审查theo我到你只用了大佬了的别叫说那别这里查过我是 no 别去我领导了我就带到了那都告诉说的对的
being show cho chạy control belu và lu sapa sinh đó chỉ be lệ của ta lu ta be nữa mày giờ mong lệ nó mày anh be show ít cho chạy lu control mà có giờ ít tụ thợ cho chữ be hay nên có giờ be tụ thợ nên nè có giờ be tụ sa nè ok có giờ tụ sapa sinh lu nữa có giờ be tụ sa là那么有人呢，个要到家管讲，我这就在被烧着乎。还讲他的古有十八岁，但是古那努蒙塔龙高，古有十八岁，古那努蒙我们高，古那努蒙otli，古那刚努晒古就好累了。在有人呢，pretty much 他被有到么个 recall，OK， ดู recall 呀，被到么个出道，就好个去么啥个还能呢？ok mà giờ lên đó tụi tôi nên nhớ lụa tụi sắp phá sinh nữa mà mò xaอยู่hay nên đó mà giờ bị suy chạy số mình này họ nè giờ có một come cry có một thằng liền tụi khổ bu có một lọt liền bị mua tàu record giờ mua tàu record bị chỉ hạแต่是giờ lên tụiจะsắp phá sinh tôi giờ bị mua tàu record hả ta có một thằng tụi tàu khổ bu chỉ có automatically remove from sắp phá sinh đấy nè ok họ giờ quý bắt than nó giờ quý họ muốn tổ bộ tụ cổ bu muốn thằng bộ cổ bu chế hành nhà rồi mình automatically remove đấy nè mà bé tụ tôi nên bé tụ thâu chữ cho tận đây nó mà yếu chủ yếu tụ lấy hụt ta giờ vì lý do nên đã quý hà lệ cho mình bé mong chế ý dạng gạo lên lại ok bé mong chế ý dạng gạo lên lại chú trai sao lại chữ tàu bé sự giờ bé chỉ mua chú trai lu chữ bé mà bé có chú có lên nè mình cái khá cũ lên nè mình cái khá cũ hạt nó cứ bé mình cái chế hàng bé sao ở chỗ chăn chú hàng lên ok chế lên thì làm sao chạy chế chân nó chú làm mà chú chân đó cô hà linh đó sự ở chân đó
cuốn chế làm chế nè bé mong tiền nó cho tiền nên có ý là nè giá ta mà mong mà lo hay tiền mong chạy để mua chạy nó chỉ bé xí giả chế nu nó là to bây giờ chỉ sĩ mong chạy để một chạy là sau to chạy rồi đó sẽ được xin là chế chậu xứ mà bây thì giờ bảo mong là giờ tận thế họ có giờ chế uống một xứ mà bây theo một tàu nè lên đầu cho
thôi sự cũng có hay lo luôn cho bé cho thấy cho thêm thọ cái này tế lo luôn please just answer the question okay because we don't have time to explain other things we will make time for other questions and answering but today is for our guests to come and ask questions so is that okay
Can I ask my question? I was sitting over there. Sorry. Các bác sai rồi cô ạ. Tôi sẽ tao cho tụ. Cú số cho sẵn va tôi tại là class tôi. Bố ta cú nó để mua ở bất tuân sai rồi cho mua. Giờ bơ và trong gọi là xã để còn có gì sẵn và các nhà chỉ hậu sẽ. Cú xã nó sẽ là có chiều sẽ nên đã chi nè. Bây giờ thì tôi hỏi nó thế cú xã cần nên là hai mình gì chỉ hai chỉ tám một lý cho nó nên là hai mình gì. Đó bé sẵn đó nên nó thì có nên chiều sẽ nên đã chi. Thế giờ nó hai giờ bé chiều sẽ thế bé giờ tôi nói nên to thế bé tự trả còn nó kho có gì sẵn kho có trong sao cố xứ. Nên tôi nó cú xã chơi nên là hai luôn à. Bây giờ ta chỉ cú xã khó nên thế rồi sẽ.
This is Sao Chava. He said that he heard through the grapevines that a few of the advocates had a concern about the way of the Hmong 18 Council and how we utilize our system to service the Hmong community. And he would like to hear if any of you are in here from the domestic violence advocate sector, could you please come up and ask your question so that way the 18 Council can answer your questions and concern, okay? So if you are here, any of you, please come up, he asked.
That was one of the things that I was going to say, that we need to, there has been a lot of things going back and forth. There have been personal attacks on people. These things I know about, and I'm not even in this community. So this is supposed to be an opportunity to ask your questions. By counting yourself out, you're basically saying that everything sounds good and this council is going to move forward, okay? They don't need, you know, and I haven't been coached by any of them. This is what I'm saying from my heart and what I believe in my experience in working with different kinds of indigenous people. You have the opportunity here, and this was an opportunity for you to present your side, to ask questions. After this, we need to move forward. Things do not continue to get better if we continue to spiral downward, especially at a time like this. We have to move forward. All of us are products of our past, and we remember the past, we honor the past, but we also know that there is a point at which we have to make a decision to move forward. And the people that you have chosen here are willing, they understand the past. There are things that they are keeping from the past that are valuable for us to move forward, but they're not going to keep on going backwards and refighting this and going around. That sends you on a downward spiral. In order to move forward, you have a situation like this, you have a time for people to be able to talk and to dialogue.
I think we have a hand.
But then once that happens, you move forward. Jane?
As I understand it, there was one concern in being a victim's advocate. I would just like you to respond to the concern that victims were not included or their voices aren't heard in the processes that you do. If you could talk about how you would include victims' voices in your process.
Nếu bây giờ thấy cho hai tia nên tao nó hai tia thầu bé hai lo hai nu từ nay ở chỗ chỉ giờ lại từ bên này chỗ chỉ giờ này bé chỉ nó này lúc xóa lại giờ này hai tia bé chìm lâu này lúc xóa bây giờ té nửa lý trả thế ấy bây giờ ô lý trả bây thế nó nữa nè. Is that right, Mo? Is that answer you? Okay, never mind. Linda mà.
Cú san nói luôn sẽ thấy cho luôn mi hạt ta thầu cứ từ victim này tôn chỉ bé chỉ dùng lên bé chỉ bằng tuần đại nó là. Okay, qua hà lumong cú san hà lumong ở mấy mặt bé. Bây giờ Linda. Jane, I not quite understand your questions. What I understand that you're saying that we, the mediator, do not hear or actually don't support the victims of in a case or something like that. Is that the complaint coming through?
As I understand it, there was a concern that victims' voices weren't part of this process of the development.
Oh.
And then also a concern that victims' voices won't be heard in mediations. So maybe there's two parts to that. One is the victims' voices when you all came together, and then during mediations, what happens to victims' voices?
No, no, no.
Jane có question mà Jane hay tia nhau li bây giờ protocol đó nè bây giờ cái chạy là sang phía chỉ nhau đó lúc còn họ có ý sáng nó bây bữa mua cái công tệ lon tờ cho nên trâu chỉ chọn tờ thiết đó nè bây giờ mỏ khó Jane có question mà Jane nông lên đó nè mà dân đó xã có nên nó bây tê hay tia bây bữa tao mua cái công tệ lon tờ cho nên trâu chỉ chọn tờ lúc xua lúc chữ gì là ba bây thiết đó nè.
Cho protocol này mà bên này họ chỉ tàu, nhà nó bên này họ chỉ tàu xứ, chỉ là lên đó bên mua cho và cho sắp phát sinh là, chỉ chuẩn đầu dạng cứ nó cho sắp phát sinh cái tàu lấy cú hà, cho sắp phát sinh cái tàu cho một sĩ tăng là sẽ chúa họ từ bên mảng khôn gì, họ cứ tại yếu cho số luôn đó cho victim đó nó mà lấy qua học hắn nói giờ bé cụ chỉ tao bé cụ chỉ tao để support cụ chỉ qua học chỉ bao individually hay là link từ giờ mua nữa,แต่是béยิ่งmua cho form อะไรตั้งกูหาbéยิ่งmua cho form develop béตาวcho form ยิ่งอีมันสู่béจะหลาย form เรา whatever จะน้อยอย่าจะคือเนาะpaying more to victim da wa okay je kuch bod sa ko te botao go yeah
Okay. Jane, you asked, are we considering the victim's voice as our process in developing this? We have people like Mao. We have not included the victim themselves because we have not been able to find or at least seek them out aggressively so that they can have their voice in this process. Given that this protocol have existed for so long ago already to this day, the process always involves listening to both sides. It's a mediation process. But we have yet to bring forth the victims and say, how would you like us to do things differently? And given that we're just for 10 months, we will make the opportunity available. And if they're willing to come forth and say, I'm a victim, I'd like to have my say in how you do things, we will make that available in time. But yes.
Didn't when you put this in writing, this was taken out to groups and communities, was it not?
Oh, I was thinking about just the 18 clans. When we involved that, we know that with Mao's help, she have talked to victims about this. But for them to come and say, face with the 18 clans in a big meeting, we have not. But we know that there's groups out there met within this city and within, perhaps even in Sheboygan, that they have voiced their thoughts and feeling about the process. So, does that answer your question? Okay. That's okay.
With my 15-year experience working with client, a lot of them has come to me and voiced out and said, yes, I have tried the clan system. Can you help me mediate that? Or can you help me contact as an organization or a higher power, maybe having you calling my clan leader will help, will help me, to be more free instead of having my husband coming to pressure me. And when we call the clan leader, we work with them, and they respond right away, and we try to find ways how to help her. We know that statistically, in general, it takes 7 to 10 times before a victim will leave the situation. And here, if we have a clan system in place that can help that the clan leader can help control the perpetrator, which the client, we know that she will go back. So if we call the clan leader and letting the clan leader know that this is the situation, can they help us? Then that help him, the clan leader, going to talk to the perpetrator, and then if she goes back, then the violence is a little lesser than, she can, they do not tai to na, ni chi kha hata, nu khan mo khatu na ni jo am su che na, je ni to ko ya ha ya yo chi nu chang na je nu to jo pe more options cho nu na hata yo le me pa ton ju me je jo thang. Là sấy mẹ một tấm cái này chỉ bôi hạt bôi yên chú bôi cho thẳng tăng là nó nói chị what I would do is you tao sinh cho chạy luôn là nữ nó chị cô hôn chú cho thẳng ở các situation hạt ta nữ happy này chị nữ rồi này chị là nó hạt để băng tàu nó nè chú khó tại xiang chú cầu ra tụi có bu nó làm một khá luôn before nữ mà lên decide that nữ yêu chị nữ có yêu rồi nữ chị tao nó còn nó nè. So that's why they had to work with the clan leaders. So they taught your voices, no? In the 15 years, ku observe ku pulu. And if they ku pu nya no la, out of all these women, somehow we have survived domestic violence and being victims of it. And also the reason why we pulled from different sectors is because I've been working in this field for so long that I am exhausted that I'm not going anywhere because of the rumor going on in the Hmong community saying that, a whole bunch of women, men beater, when they're not going to listen to us. So that's why we pull a sector from the teacher, the counselor, social services, and the clan leader to get together so that the Hmong family will appreciate that and will say, okay, well now it's not just the advocates talking about it, it's not the women's communities talking about it, teachers talking about it, counselors talking about it, priests talking about it, let's do something. So khano hai move tao pe che ton mong na cho kha pe ya ko pu no ha sana ye ha chi tao la na cho kha ku tu tao ko chi xiong no cho lu community no na wa ha ta mo ye na ko pu sana mo zhao zi nei mo zhao ko pu si na. So that's why we had to pull all these professionals on. And all these professionals within their field, they have seen domestic violence in some ways. As a teacher, she saw in her kids who are working at social security, the elderly will come to her seeking help. Wrong, and all these clan leaders will come. So we, the clan leader are not so aware of what domestic violence is. And, in the Hmong, domestic violence it has to be physical. But, it has all these emotional and emotional abuse, verbal, training. So I hope that if we provide more trainings to them and to, all of us, I think we can come together and put this, okay.
Charlie, can I have you wait just a second? There was a young woman in the back, Arlene. I think one of the young women that you brought I really want to hear, because I know she has some questions, and I saw her raise her hand. Okay. No, I was saying that you're sitting next to Arlene. You know.
Trong khi tàu tuần trên này là bắt ta của tới hai cũng bị đua tới chỉ của nhà kimi mua work đã Wisconsin Rapids đã lúc còn hồ ba trên nữa cũng có question nó cũng nông đã cả đâu giờเขาbắt ta có haiนี่chỉ tổng một meeting cho bọn này là cho việc chậm này ạนี่ภาษาที่นี่มั่วอีลูกชิเหรอแล้วcho in general ซึ่งกูจะให้cho advocate ลิกูแล้วยาลิมอin general ไปจากปัญญามองเราซึ่งนี่ภาษาที่นี่ไม่รู้ชิเหรอเราถ่ายเราจากปัญญาที่โอ้ยอดโตลินอนี่โตลินอนี่ไปจากปัญญาดิจานนี่ผมไม่รู้นี่ปัตตสาลินนะ
Okay, that's okay. Thank you for your question. She asked about will we be providing opportunities for the victims to come and meet with us and so that we can hear their voice personally. And I know that we have relied on our advocates that we have connection with to meet up with the victims because we don't want them to feel intimidated or insecure about being a part of us because I think for a long time they've been traumatized that the leaders are abuser themselves or that they promote abuser or the perpetrator. And we don't want them to feel unsafe. So, but I thank you, and I know that we will provide the opportunity if they allow us to. And I encourage the domestic violence advocates field or advocates out there, if you can have a group of women or men victims that will be willing to meet with us, it would be our honor to be there to help them and hear their voice and how we can better assist them.
Yeah, nhưng món tàu này chỉ hai vấn đề là hai chính nhưng mà giống tụ thì ok, corporate con tàu và bây giờ nó cho xã bảo thì you know có hai tiền nên giải trí tổ chức meet na xã bảo thì đầu tư thì or của tí tàu có after meeting là giờ tí tàu lên từ after meeting này thế thì trong sĩ thả na.
Okay, before I let Vaughn go. I know that we have made ourselves available several times. I don't remember exactly the person, but they had a banquet and a meeting, and we offer ourselves to be there, but they say that we might make them feel unsafe. And we didn't come because it was not permitted, and they have to specifically chosen individual to go to the banquet or to the meeting. But you know what? We're not going to be shy, and I think when the opportunity present, we will make ourselves available to you. All of us, or one or two or three of us, will come to you if you should have one of those. And we don't want to press or push ourselves on you as well, because we know that when people don't want you, and you push yourself on them, they're not going to be able to listen or collaborate or cooperate, and therefore it's defeated. Okay. Well, I want to add a couple more things. So.
Peter Ying Chai Chang, Jacopu had to charge a page at the name pay and or the young holu, no pay such to Jacopu Halinda, Jaylanda Betty Moore, just surpassing Copu, Betty Moore, mediation Copu, Jaylanda Jano, ya Betty Moore to Long Patan, Copu Yanza now. Being charged to Jacopuna, Yato Shalang to make Jacopu Soling Soto, just the name Soling Soto, yelling to more, Tamanchilla, Pay your tau, Lucy or Chi. Talinda in your heart to cuckoo, in your heart to Shaja Hakata. Pay a holu, Petty or the Alusiona, Pegu invite to Ja, turning or holu, Yatelu agency. Cho số lên số tụ tổ cộng cho bé đó xem mà dùng đi cụ chỉ bổ tua nhà cháu hậu lử nhà cháu cho shelter mà cụ cho bổ tua sai sinh cần mi nhà cháu Green Bay tổ cộng bé ít tăng số sức tao lên đó để chỉ tua lại cho nên mà ta chỉ tại dùng đi đó là bé chỉ tao tăng cái giá sát bé tư dùng sát bé tư yên bổ lên đó bé sao lại trang cho thời cho của bổ đó cho lũ chữ cho cô pu ha lùn rồi mình cho sĩ thằng vì ta cho cô pu mà mẹ mới cho lù mẹ chỉ cho sáng thẳng cho cô ya giờ lên nè bây giờ trang cho cô bu sợ lù thời cho lù sợ lang rồi cho thời cho cô bu lo cho ô hậu lù lên mẹ lo giờ lên nè họ từ chỉ nhà bia khu họ từ bia ô trang là bia tàu khu họ cho chỉ này nó là bây giờ tàu lù xí tổ chỉ gì lù xí thẳng ta ô cho cô bu cho chỉ này nó bây giờ cho đi chăng bây giờ cho sư hữu bây giờ lên ô tô hai người rong nhau cho lù già lù sa chỉ trang một chút bé tại bé nhau lù già bé ô cái chỗ cái số cho lù chỉ còn nói bé tu vàng lên nó là cũng chỉ ta tháo hết là chú hết là cho phụ chỉ hay nó tháo khăn nó mong là bé hết là tao ô lù ok chỉ cũng chỉ ta bé ô tao là ô chọn nào.
Okay, ô cho nó họ là lù tây này à, cô chơi con gì? Cô sa clarify hạt you know, in the protocol, it says, you know, if the husband and the wife are still together and she gets killed or she gets killed, the husband will be responsible for her funeral. If they're not together, then it goes to her side of the family. I want to clarify because I've heard through the grapevines that if they were still together and she went to her side of the family and he went to kill her there and she died at her family's side or house or whatever. And so I heard that, and then that if he did that, he will not be responsible for her funeral. So is that true or not? Cô hay lúc mong ya cô sáng nông hạt tiền ya thầu anh ấy chỉ nó chỉ sĩ hậu sáng ấy từ niệm một đã nâng trả ấy từ chỉ họ cho cá một tuần đã ấy họ cho một tuần đã nó chỉ từ chỉ là bao từ chỉ lúc funeral nó nói ya. So cô nói lên tới gì vì do li anh ấy bác clarify là ya xin anh do li trả tiền nữa.
Cho chạy vào tăng cú hàn đó mà vì ta bé lúc sợ tăng là cú lúc sợ tăng là cú sa chỉ lao cho ta tất cả mọi sự都是做好来被抛在 mediation 了mà lên nó và tăng của tôi hàn gì hàn là giờ ta tuần sai đó tôi chỉ sử dụng tuần sai họ chỉ muốn tàu bể cho tao là ta chỉ là người tiếp phong gì là tôi có giờ họ nhà cái mộtตัวนี่ตัวละเขาได้จะยัง liability นะตัวก็เยอะแค่ funeral cost everything อย่าตัวก็เยอะจึง liable จ้ะยังหาได้นั่นคือตัวก็ปูนึก walk away and นึก refuse ไม่ยุ่งจังอ่ะเนี่ยเขากูชอบไม่ตัวหัวอย่าตัวก็ปูนึกจะได้ walk away ตัวก็เยอะละจะเล่นจุดตัวมองจื้อมองอยู่ตัวมองละจะมองจุดตัวมองเยอะละน่าจะละหาจิตเอาคือที่นี่จังละหาจิตเอานึกจีคนเจหาเลยนู่นตัวยันนี่ตัวละแต่นู่นได้ตัวก็เยอะจีไล่บ่ละโอเคมาอย่างนั้นมาคำไม่ตัวไม่จะน่าเจ้าวิธีตัวน่าเจ้าเนนึละเมิดคนนั้นนึจีนึมองละนึ refuse cooperate จุดสุดละแต่อย่างนั้นนู่นตัวนู่นตัวละนู่นได้ตัวก็เยอะจีมั่วละปากกันนี่ละแต่ชียาตาอันนั้นที่มัวเกชิชิหุเซงนี่เขาจีมุงเต้าเป๋ทักที่นี่จังปังเจียลินดาตุกอยชิเจ้าชามตัวละเจงยาตุกอยเลยเขาลือนี่จุดเทซื่อเลยนี่จุดวัวซื่อเลยนะเจียใจยิ่งชอบไม่เม่งจะหูจุดใจละแต่เราลินดายาตาเกินเนื้อว่ายิ่งหันยาตาเนื้ออันลิงยันนี่ไม่จอลินฮะนี่ฮะตากูตัวก็จะเผ็ดเราฮะเจ้ากูเจ้าเนื้อซื้อเนาะกูเจ้าเนื้อซื้อแต่是กูจินเจ้าไม่เสียงตัวนึงนะกูเจงยาไม่เล่นนึงกูจนเจ้าตัวก็จะซื้อวิกูมัวตู้มัวกี้วิกูจีสังใจไม่เจนึงมากูเจงยาไม่นึงยาไม่มัวตู้มัวกี้ผีกูหลักกูยัวเลยกูรู้ไม่เนาะพอยาหาได้ไม่ชิมตัวมัวกี้เลยนู้ก็เล่นถึงใช้กูนั่นแหละกูหามองอยากกูมองอีจวนมองอีจวนแล้วนั่นเจสัตว์ต่างเปล่าพอยาหาได้นั่นก็กูเจย่อนั่นเจนู่นที่กูตัวเจนึงให้จุดต่อละประกาศนั่นน่ะแต่ชิมอาตัวมันยุ่งจังวะถ้ามันเจ้ามันตัวก็เยอะไม่แต่กูเจ้ากูน่ะกูเยอะเสียหนูเผ็ดแล้วกูชิวหนูเสียแต่ชิกูจินเจ้าตั้งเจ้าคอกูจินเจ้ากูตีมันไม่หาไม่มิ่งลินดานั่นน่ะยังไม่ชี้หาลินดาเลยนู้ me otlot li che le nu yu ha sia che chu man ti pang yu mà make sure cha chai sau tu si cho lại cú yo của cha sắp phát sinh cha tôi cho khai mình chút số lên chút tu của tao lệ nè ở trong đó.
All right, you have to pay me to translate, okay? Basically, he said two things. If you are married and you ran off with a boyfriend and you will not listen to your parents or your in-laws, then if you die, not necessarily due to murder, they will not take care of your funeral expenses, okay? But if you are married and you got problems and you went to a family, relatives or the clan leader to seek assistance, and he came and kill you, legally you're still married, and he will be responsible, and his family will be responsible for your funeral costs. Another one is that you may say, I divorced my husband, but I do not divorce the clan. That means that you are still belong to the clan. Spiritually, body and soul belong to the clan. And when you die, doesn't matter for whatever reason it causes, the clan still can take care of you and will take care of you. Okay? Because you just divorced from him, you didn't divorce from the clans. So there's several layers, and Vaughn verbalized that these rules and traditional practices will be transferred out or be taught to the clans and the community in the future, so that everybody is aware of the process. So if you're not divorced, you run off and you being naughty, of course they won't take care. But if you are divorced legally through the court system and the clans, then it will be okay, you know. So.
Chui lùn xong đời cho xin này á, cái chui lùn xong này bây giờ xin này, giờ đã có chỉ có cái đồ bù là, cái bù đã có đồ bù chỉ dùng cho cái là, make sure bên mong mà khai cho mấy á, bên yếu bên đồ bù lùn chứ, bên chỉ muốn chạy ổn định đến giàu nữa, cái đồ bù mà trong tụ mà ổn định đến giàu đồ bù, ở là mà nè chỉ要chạy cho bên mong suy chạy lại. Bên mình yếu lù mà bên giàu chỉ tao lên đó, bên yếu lù giờ ta có chỉ yếu cái đồ bù là, make sure bên mình chạy nhau hoa ta có sang cầu ở làng nhà mà, có một đồ bù sang cầu ở làng nhà cho cả là nên có bao làng nhà là bên chào làng, nên có ở làng nhà giờ ít phẳng ở, giờ nên có bao làng nhà giờ ở phẳng bao bên chào làng giờ bên phẳng chào, giờ có chỉ yếu cái đồ bù là for example, ta cũng mấy tụi lông coi nhát tới chấm blau cũng nhạt lâu là chỉ cũng chỉ có đồ bù lâu nó chỉ mấy sang nên một chắc ăn cho nên trắng cho họ thảo mấy mong mà mấy yên bê làm bê khó bê nạp bê gì hả ta cho giờ là nu cũng chỉ có cho các trong của sa các trong cho các hàng của sa các hàng nọ chỉ nu từ mấy chỉ có mấy đồ bù là mấy ta mấy ở tàu sang một chỗ nào gì nó nè giờ mấy chỉ sang mấy một cho mình cháu là chín cháu, là cứ na nu cụ bù cho trong cho họ bù ya, cháu là ni chín cháu, yếu là ni cụ chỉ yếu, nhau ở tụi nó cứ chỉ mua chỉ lệ, mà nó sao mà mong sao hả lại ya, bây giờ mua hạt thằng ít nhiều lu nó chỉ ta thằng luôn cháu, hello, nó to, chỉ là mà plong đủ mua hàng ya đi nó, mà cụ sáng của mẹ bây giờ có giờ mà giờ hạt ta mẹ tụ có bù hành đó mấy yên giờ mấy tụ mấy yếu giờ yếu tao này yếu là cái mấy yếu là make sure hạt ta yếu tụ tốt chơi yếu tụ có bù đó hồi có chỉ yếu chỉ sáng sự mà là bây giờ chỉ một plan đủ nè mà cứ sáng của khá cho mấy là bây yên sáng đón đó mấy cho hú chỉ là nó mấy một cho lót li chỉ là nó bây hạt tao mấy chỉ nó bây nó yên hành giang cho mấy á bây sáng mấy rồi tao khôi mấy cái cả
As brief as possible. He said, if you're going to pursue in a divorce, you must make clear cut that I divorce you. And using the standard procedure of the Hmong 18 Council, because if you don't use that and you just say, I divorce you, it's not legal. And therefore, you're still responsible for the death of the wife. Okay?
If my background's law enforcement, I've been here for about 35 years. First, the Hmong 18 Council is to be commended. At least we've come a long way. All right. The other issue is there's two things that I've seen that have controlled women. And one is the area of the dollars that have been authorized in payment to the clan of the aggressor. And that creates some significant problems. The victim then feels compelled to go back into the violent situation because of the dollars that have been authorized by you to the clan of the perpetrator. I think that needs to be addressed. The other area is with children. Now, as I understand your culture, when the wife is with the husband's clan then assumes responsibility for the children. The problem with a woman and being controlled is she doesn't want to lose her kids. And that is a big controlling factor for these victims, that they don't want to go to you because they figure that you're going to send the kids then at some point, or at least the threat is there, that they're going to lose the kids and the kids are going to go to the male's clan. So just two areas. The other thing I'm going to say, for the little time I have left, I am more than willing to assist you with, as some kind of a liaison here so that you understand the legal system a little bit.
What is your name?
My name is Charlie Jones.
Right, Trevor Jones now. Thank you, Linda.
Mao knows who I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me answer real quick. Given that I'm an educator of culture and history, I just want to give you a quick educational piece about why we collect dowry. Initially, traditionally, dowry is not meant to say, this is how much you are worth.
This isn't dowry. I'm not talking dowry.
Are you talking about the process? It's not a
I am
procedure?
talking about your mediation process. If a victim has been aggrieved, all right, and then the clan authorizes payment to the victim's clan because of whatever has taken place.
Okay. Cấp bộ sát đây.
Nữ hai cho khó thì nữ bỏ óc khó nữ bé khó đó khó thi nữ thọ khó bé của họ của医生hay thì bé của sĩ thọ ta họ lựa chọn更高的nữ thọ khó bé cho nó cho thế bé lúc của họ khó thi question nữ hai cho khó thì bé mong mỗi khó cái trái hay thì thọ anh ấy chỉ là chỉ sĩ học sinh là sĩ sa sĩ yếu là tu niệm kia một chỗ năng trâu trả là cho tu chỉ là cho cứ tiตัวขอนั่งขอจ้าจะมั่วถูกปะเนี่ยนะจองก้าถ้าก้าเราโจลุงกัวกูถ้าก้าเราโจลุวันลงกูลินเดอร์มายาลินเดอร์ขอนอเนื้อวัวเตาอีขอหายเตียจงกอลิไปมั่วถูกปะเนี่ยนะจอละย่อจอเขาวัวไปป่วยขอเตาขอนั่นไม่เมนจีจีตาลินเดอร์ไปมั่วจะก้าลิเกใจมายาเตียเกชินเจ้าเหล่านั่นนะเจไปมั่วจะไม่หยวจอเจเราตุจีจีพุ่งเราตุเนี่ยโมมาขอนอเทวัวเราตุเนี่ยเคียจีเตาเดอร์ไปนั่นแต่ตุจีในหมู่โจขต่อมาขอนอยาขอkhó nói do khó bởi nên nó bây giờ khó lý trả đến gì trọng nữa nè. Ok.
Nhà hộp bế chú chạy, ok, bây nhà hộp bế chú chạy mediation mà lý nó. Oh, in our mediation department, we do have a policy saying this. That both have to mutually agree that where the children going to go. If they both not mutually agree for divide the kid, they both had to be mutually agree that they will help, both have to help the children until they're 18 years old. If in our mediations, if nothing come to conclusion or no mutual agreement between the two husband and wife, we refer them to the court. That's our mediations in the multi-ethnic clan council. And secondly, the point that you mentioned about when the wife come to the wife's family and he pays some money to the family and he'll bring the wife back to the situation that you mentioned, that had to be agreed with the women. Okay, again, the women the woman had the full power to tell the leaders, like I mentioned earlier today, that the woman had the full power to tell the leaders and the parents that I want to go back or not. If she felt that she will be safe to go back, but, he had to promise or he had to do something, so he will lose some money so the parent will allow him to go back, but had to have some kind of written agreement that he will, for sure that the woman will be safe before we release the woman back to the house. Otherwise, we will not. But again, the key is the woman, okay? The key is the woman. The woman had to be strongly.
I think you need to do something a little bit more so that the women are aware that they do have that power. Based on my experience, they are not aware of it and don't feel that they have that power.
Cú sáng của mẹ explain cho nữ cho nhà ở khu đó nè. I think more lần đầu case where cho nhà tôi khu lần đầu nó chỉ tôi nên cho case chọn là nè, nó chọn nhìn đó nè, nó chỉ nữ feel obligated hata vì mỗi cái nhà nó mua là nè, nó chỉ nữ tạo chỉ tao là nè, nó chỉ bố chỉ tao từ khỏi nhà rồi mà, nếu chỉ bố chỉ tao khỏi nhà là nè, nó chỉ mẹ khá tại do vì chẳng khỏi nhà đó hay là thể là khó có hàng ít hàng all hàng plau whatever lên đó nè số mẹ khá cho nè.
Okay, I want to explain a little bit that. In the Hmong tradition, Hmong has a way of, because long time ago we do not have a court system, okay? So we do not have a court system where the court can say pay maintenance, order to pay maintenance or alimony support or something like that. So in our Hmong tradition, if you want to, you don't want to marry your husband or your husband don't want to marry you, and you go to your families, and if you two agree that you still want to marry, you just want to make the marriage better, and the husband is found at fault, then the clan leaders and the side of the family of the girls will have the husband to pay a maintenance or, to pay a maintenance to continue the family's relationship. Because in the Hmong culture, when you two get married, you build a bridge between those two families. And so that's considered a maintenance, a family, maintenance, and that's what the Hmong culture is. So it's not something that we offered for the other family to return the girl. That's not it. Usually it's 99% is the girl agree to return to the home in order for that maintenance to be in place.
I think your question, because there are so many rules that we use in terms of resolution, but I think your question is regard to when a woman, when the husband is doing something to the woman and the woman run to her side of the family, and the man with his relative go and pay a penalty to bring her back. And your question was, if payment is an interest, then that could become a conflict of interest where they accept the money, but the woman still have to go back to live with the perpetrator. And how can you alleviate that, right? Okay. So the answer usually is that if I hit my wife, she ran away to her family. In our culture, hitting a wife, it's penalized with monetary compensation. So I would go and then would ask her relative and said, my clan leader would say Thai did was wrong. And what Thai did, it's, the damage would be $1,200. It doesn't mean to buy them, but to pay that respect, but she would still have to agree and say, I'll go back, or yes, I understand it now. So she will always have her say with her relative as well. So I think many cases probably it may not be fully explained to a woman. It may not be fully explained to the public, to institution. So what they understand, that it may be a lot of misrepresentation, because the wife, my wife would have her side of the family to be her counsel in a way, and work with my family to make sure that our case has been fairly settled. But I do agree that we need to educate more to the men, to the woman, so that the process is very much open, so people have more confidence with that, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, right. Correct. Right. And let me say this to you. I understand, and I too feel that our Hmong system, it could be considered as a bias, because the people who negotiating with me in my clan, we all mostly male. So now that's why we want to bring the female in and include that as a part of the leadership, so that whatever happens, it has more transparency, and say it's a fair in society, just like in the legal system. That appreciate it.
Yeah. In other word, the money the husband pay for it is press charge against the husband that commit the crime to the woman. So that is a charge the husband to pay for it before he can have his wife back. And both parents, both leaders are the reference, are witnesses for the penalty that he paid for it, and then before the woman can go back. Otherwise, she will not go back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. She says a very good thing. And after everything's agreed, both family, in many times they write in an agreement, if he still commit another crime again against her, then the woman will go free. Everybody, all the children, everything will go free. So that's the Hmong culture.
It is a good day. First of all, my name is Olzansky. I'm first generation American. I'm not a very good speaker. I would tell you what a pleasure it was for me to be here today. I would like to say this was not my first choice of places to be. It was too cold to work in the garden. Unfortunately, there must have been a lot of people who thought it was nice to be out in the garden, because I really think this meeting deserved a lot more participation, both by the young people in the young community, because of their lack of being here, I think says so much. I have lived here most of my life, but I travel a lot. And I know there was a lot of animosity with the Hmongs first coming into the community. I would like to say how proud I am to have you as part of the community. Excuse me. It is a real pleasure. You have blended in so well. You are industrious. You are proud people, and we should be proud to have you as part of this community. Again, I apologize. You know, I feel like I should ask you to sit down in that you've been standing up there so long. Is there any problems with them sitting down for a minute? I don't want to take over the meeting, but Jesus, I can see you rocking back and forth and whatever, and I'll make my
I have
comments
promised
short.
Rochelle that we will stand up here as long as needed to answer the questions of the people. And so I thank you for your consideration, but we'll stand here until everybody's done questioning.
Okay, I don't know if you
that's
wanted
the
to
penalty we
translate
pay
any
as
of this.
leaders.
I will finish up shortly. This has been like information overload from me. I feel like I'm back in college. I took a notebook full of notes, and I'm still trying to understand and comprehend everything that's going on. Thank you. Again, I want to say how proud I am to have you here. I think there are a multitude of questions that I have, some of which I feel will break what I would call the basis of this opening sessions, that things are not said in a way that can be hurtful or construed as hurtful or not positive. But I would like to leave my number with somebody because I do think I have some things to say that shouldn't go out to the general public.
Our secretary is over there in a little bit. You can give your number to her, and then we'll have someone or myself contact you.
Okay, again, I had a gazillion things to say that I wanted to talk about, and I'm just going to pass for now. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for your kind words, and I look forward to speaking to you.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I serve the Hmong domestic violence, and I'm in the Region 3. And I am very pleased to be here and be able to be a part of this. I know I was a part of the training that took place in Green Bay, and I thought it was a very good training. I think that some of the concerns overall over the advocates that are, you know, I can't say that I'm here to speak on all of them, because I know that a lot of them has their own concerns and reason of why they cannot be here today. But I think that I was kind of disappointed and sad to see that, you know, only a few advocates were able to be here today. But again, you know, I'm not here to explain why they're not here. I think that together we have come a long way, and as advocates, I'm not in a position to say that because I serve victims that I know what is right for the victims, and I cannot say that what you guys are doing is wrong. I'm just saying that what can we do together to make this more effective in our own region for the safety and the protection of our victims. Some of my question is that I see that you have here that your protocols and what you have laid out looks really great and outstanding on paper. What is your next step in taking this and enforcing it into the regions that we are currently working with? As an example, with advocates who are working in those regions, how are you working along with those advocates or clan leaders in those community to take on these mediation standard procedure protocols that you guys have put together? And what is your follow-up on that? I know that with some victims, they come and they said they have met with some of the 18 clan, and they had made it to the 18 clan known that they don't want to stay with the perpetrator because they are being abused, and the 18 clan sends them back home. And then it gives the perpetrator more aggressive. What is your, as the 18 clan, is there like a follow-up after, you know, everything is mediated? Is there a follow-up with that? And another thing is that with these protocols, is there a way that you can, you know, I mean, what you have on here, in the future, can it be changed, or is it pretty much set that it's going to be this way? And I think that some of the advocates I have heard stress that the protocols, and I know that it was addressed before too about victims not being involved with this process. Some of the concerns with the advocates was that some of the, and I have the highest respect for all of you standing up there, but I'm just saying that some of the people that were put in this process, they felt were perpetrators, and they didn't want this process to be put together from a perpetrator, but that they wanted victims' voices to be heard too, and not just all male that we're putting together. So.
First things first, and I'll let you answer her second question, which is about how, not Nicole, right? Okay, Nicole, I want you to still stay up here because I think you have 2 or 3 questions, right? Now, the reason I ask you to do that because that way you can repeat your question for us, and given that we have short-term memory problems, you can repeat the question so we can appropriately address your question. Now, number 1, you ask how we, the 18th Council, could include you in our process. Now, I know that I'm sure the message have gone back to the other advocates in reference to how I had my conversation with Ba Van, okay? Now, Ba Van and I, we had a conversation, we met halfway, and we discussed about the 18th Council, and I share about our work with the 18th Council as women, and how we are part or integral part of the 18th Council. Now, I have promised her that we will, as the 18th Council, will make a time sometime between now and June, or perhaps September, we will dedicate a portion of our board meeting to meet all of you. And the invitation would go for all of you, or maybe 2 or 3 of your representatives. And so that way we can find a way to collaborate. The key is we must work with you, and you must be willing to work with us. It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. And so that I have promised, and I can assure you, between now and September, if you don't hear from us or me, please harass me, okay? Now, I promise that I will do that for the advocates, including Mao, and the women's community as well. And so we want to be a part of you and collaborate. And then could you ask your second question, and I'll let the leader answer for you.
My other question was that how was there going to be a follow-up? How will you be this, like, is there going to be like training in each of the regions? I see on your list there that you have a whole bunch of agencies listed. I don't know what happened, that's my glass. I see on your brochures that you have out there, me being as part of the agencies for serving victims, that will you have training in those regions? I see on your clip there that you showed there was training going on, and I don't know if maybe some advocates missed it or some clan leaders missed it. Was there going to be training? And when you have the protocols in place, will there be follow-up after there's a mediation? Will there be follow-up with that family that came to the 18 clan as mediation?
I think with that, I could perhaps respond for everyone as quick as possible. I know that the time's running short, if it's okay with you guys, okay? Following up, we don't know about the past. We know that the Hmong 18 Council, the Hmong leaders, were never intended to say, we're gonna send you home to be with your abusive husband or wife. It is our intention that when we mediate, that they will have peace at the house with their family and children. Now, I cannot say all the leaders are fair and square and just. We cannot promise that I, as Yer Yang or as Yaiwova Meng, will mediate this case and that they will be fair. The intention of the 18th Council right now, starting from this point on, that we would do our very best, and Vaughn is our mediator's chairperson, and we would like to leave that in his hand so that he can work with our clan mediators so that way they can enforce the fairness of the mediation process. Because I know we are human beings and we can never quite as fair as we want it to be, but if we could help it, by all means, we will be as fair as possible, and we are working very hard at that. And I want to assure all of you, the DV advocates, and also among leaders and community members, that we're going to do our very best. And again, I don't want to say that because we volunteer, we're not going to work very hard. We don't get paid to do this. It's not our job. But because we love our people, we love our family, and that we're going to do our very best to help our family, even though we don't get paid. A lot of our clan leaders work day and night just so that they could mediate some problems out there. So I want to assure you that between now and 4 years, I know it's a long time, but it's going to be faster than you can imagine, that we're going to make sure that our clan leaders are going to do their job as effective as possible and be as fair as possible. And we're going to let Vaughn Vang take care of that, including with the executive team. And we have our leaders, advisory board, who are wise men who will help guide us in the process. And I thank you for your question.
Cú sa lina và cú tôi yên bao cú ya ít thời cho cú yên bảo cú yên bổ lu rèn mò lu future thảo su bi lu co committee cú sa tôn chỉ mẹ cho advocate nhân dân state cú sa của mẹ support bé sa cú sa lại của Camel yên hà cho cú hà ta bố muốn nhận đạoอย่าไปจวนเนื้อให้แม่รองชาไม่จากเอเวอร์เคนเดอร์แม่ปัง support มาเนี้ยมุ่งแย่จุเป้จะตัวเชงเลยคือแม่จัดโลตั้งกุศลไม่ได้ไปสาเลหูจะกังรอโลจะไม่ร้องโลแม่เอาไปตัวแม่จ้องตัวไปสาตัวมุชิตาอย่าเล่นได้มากูน้อยอีลูกังรอยิงหาตากังรอ destroy ลูกมอง18 clan councilเจยันไปสิหาเจขมเอาต่อไม่ตัวจิชิหูยันได้จะไม่มุชิทางก็ชิหูจ่อเจอีชีไปสิทางอีชีเจกันรู้กูหาแต่ยันเลยไปรองชาละขมเอาก็มุ่งยันจุปัวยันเลยไปจากการรู้ไปกูจะชาแต่ยังไม่ยอม support ไปเนาะแต่สิรู้จูขมเอาชอบนั้นตัวแต่ขมเอาจุมุ่งยันจุไปละเจยันเลยได้คราวนั้นไปกูจิตุชากูตุเข่งอยากตุเธอจีเงาลูกคอมมิตี้กูสั่งกู around กูสั่งเลยมองกู around ใช้ยันหนอจีปังไปโอกตาจอขาแต่ลูกเขาหรืออย่าไปสิท่านในผลโมดไปโคกตาจะมองเงาวิสคอนซินวีตากูตุฟตายโมดเขาหรือจอกูละกูอยู่โอกตาอย่าลินดากูสั่งโอกตาเจเป็นกู around ถ้าเป็นกู around ไปเธอลูว่าเนาะจง trainingไปดูจากการรู้ให้ไม่ต้องมั่วเทรนนิ่งจบไปจะเลยจากอีเมลไม่ยกก็ไปบอกไปจะอันจันดาก็ไม่ต้องมาหาตัว operation ซึ่งอย่าลินดาจะไปหาตัว operation นั่นไปจะหาลินดาไปท้าใจไม่ต้องเทรนไปจะการรู้ชื่อกาจะอย่าลินดามาไม่อิทธิกษัตริย์ตัวแต่สิโลเลกูชิมอนถึงตัวขาเป้มันไปยิ่งเจอไม่อุนดูจุลูจะยันได้จีไปจี open door ไปจีแข็งไปยิ่งกูยัยตัวหนึ่งชาลูกูยิ่งสังกูไปเชิดละลูอีปานอีเปอไม่จะยัง host ไม่มัว authority ไม่มัวยันเนาะไปจีมัวไป volunteer นะมายันได้กูยิ่ง respect เชิดละแต่สิมาว่าจิตต่อแต่ยาวิลิจังเชิดละกูอลินได้เราขันได้ละชุดแล้วกูชอบอีเมลนั่นดาวแหงหาเลอุลินาจะเป็นไปสมัครคันฟรนนู่นนะเมื่อคันฟรนนู่นนะละจะเอเวอร์เคชุดละไม่ต้องดีเบตดันดาวทุกผู้ไม่จะอีเมลละหาแต่นะเป้ชิมาใจอยู่แม่ก็ไม่ตกกงดาวนู่นนะเป้ชิมาเป้ละมั่วเขาหรือตัวอย่างเก่าเชื่อกูชิมาเขาหรือกูตัวเป้ลูกไม่หมอกูจะเขาหรือดาวเกินเก่าแต่ที่จำเป็นที่สุดเลยยุติว่านุ่งนอนกูตัวสุขนะอย่าเล่นได้ไม่ต้องมันเก่าโจเล่นละอ้อเล่นเป็นเล่นกูมันเทรนไม่จันได้อีจากกูตัวไปกูชิดทางกูโหไปชิดเลยว่าเขาเลยโอเคแต่ไม่ตัวไปเล่นก้าวสุดเลยยิ่งรองนะกูรองชาเขาไม่ตัวมาเอาเลยนะไม่จะข้ามมันจูโปชิดทางท้าก็ชิดเลยชาลูกล่องจูเป้อะโอเคกล่องจูเป้เป้ชิดกล่องโอเคpeople link more the same target populations, okay? You don't have any different population. We have the same target populations. แต่是เขาไม่ออกเขาไปออกอย่าตัวรู้หาผ้าออกก็มองนักการยองมองยาจงซื้อจะยังไงไปสิปังสิเช่าเลยไปมองนักการยองซื้อจะหนอจื้อหาจุกูหาแต่อย่าไม่มองนักการยองจะเป็นหนอจื้อจีจังมัวจะไม่มอง okay? จะยังไม่ยาไปรู้ใจไม่เอาเปล่าตัวไม่ชิดตัวเป็นนั่นนู่นนั่นสิเป็นนั่นนู่นหาเจเป็นจะหนักจีปงจีหมดตัวไม่เกินเก่าเนี่ยโอเคเนี่ยต่อไปจะก็ตัวเปล่าไม่เยอะพอเจนหาแค่ตัวกูหาแต่ยาหาแต่นั่นคือไม่ยอตัวมึงหาไปยังไม่ยอแต่เหม็นเจไม่ตัวหาตัวอยู่ตัวกูซื้อกูมาปังกูซื้อพอยายโอลินามาไปจ้างมัวตัวไม่เท่าแค่ยาลินนะมากูหาตัวไปจะหน่อยจะชี้จะพุ่งอยู่สุดละ bây giờ ô linh đó na ok cú sáng của mẹ khi lo mẹ lo sa cú hạt cho mẹ tăng cú tu hạt mẹ nó là cú chỉ sang chỉ sai mò cú sa sau trong Palestine ta giờ linh thì mò lo sa cha sau giờ lo mong tu thay cho gì mình tập lời tua đàng ok tập lời tua tua sĩ challenge sharing thì lại bây giờ tuần đó lo bây giờ cho na cha tu có bu cha chỉ nên bây giờ tu sĩ là mà giờ linh đó cú sáng tháng có hoa ta bây giờ sĩ change gì là cho họ lo cho nó cho chỉ nhá cho chúng ta bây giờ change lo ta bây giờ này ít cho tôi nên chỉ bảo càng hậu cú khai cho mẹ nhau rằng green bay cho nó chỉ chế bây lì nó hà ta bây mong dirty bây mong stupid bây chỉ một leadership ok cú giờ muốn chụp bộ plau tu nó nhau hú thẳng đàng bộ sang chào tu mình cả tổ chế bây bộ linh đó cú san nó giờ linh đó lo rằng cú cho lo rằng ước linh mong ước linh san nó chứ mà giờ này cú khai cho mẹ hà ta cú san mót sang bộ linh nó cú chỉ vô nó lên nó qua cho mẹ nè cú chỉ vô nó lên nè cho cú hậu lực cú ta cho mong xưa nè ok mà giờ này cú khai mẹ cú sáng thọ mẹ cú thằng cô cho mẹ chọn trái nè mẹ cho chân chế cú xem mẹ cho chọn trái mới cho lu mong cần cầuเลยnè mà cú sáng thọ của mẹ à cổng chú bé ha họ được chỉ trong sống đấy tôi khai đã họ nó chỉ trong bé khu lên nó giờ yes I will to do that tôi chỉ criticize ta phê lệ u lên nó chế chia chỗ bé xí mình chỗ mẹ tôi养cầu ô chỗ mẹ cho nai yo chỉ hủ mẹ nè mẹ nó cú hậu luôn cho mẹ lấy cả tôi养cầu có lên đó chế lo yêu tu nai tôi chỉ nhảy yêu là chế nên mà cú sáng tháng của hủ bé bé xí lô nè mẹ mong con mẹ bé lên mẹ bao nhiêu lên tua mà chỗ bố tháo của mẹ làm bằng chùa cổng bé rồi có gì sinh nè mẹ ô tô养từ bé mẹ ô养đó thành của bé mong luôn nên nhau với cái gì nó có peacefully có bé sa rong có họ bị lùi nó sự ở trong đó.
For the last question, protocol put together. Now, can it be changed in the future if there was more ideas put together? Can this protocol be changed?
ok mình giải cụ thể là chỉ theo khả năng mà bé và một số kia nhau lấy tao chỉ nói bé bỏ để bé mong mà và thầu u mà lòng này bỏ cụ là những bỏ lòng thân này phun hại á thì chỉ nó chỉ mua thân này phun lời nên chỉ bé tao là chùa bé cho chạy để bé vào chạy chỉ ta từ thân này phun trời nhau là lấy cho nó chuẩn bị cả là tí bỏ thì bé chỉ mua chạy cho là chui bé trả nâng lấy theo hồ thân này phun tôi nuôi thì và thầu u thân phun chui bé trả nâng lấy trả nào thì là số trả pro khổ chết là chỉ nóถ้าแต่ที่โซเจนแต่ลิเป็นมองจอก็เลยเกี่ยใจก่อหอตัวจะตู้หอจันจะหอจะเราลิมองอีสื่อเจ้าเราตอนนั้นต่อผาชงไปต่อเอื้อหายได้เลยจะยาลีนาแต่ชินาเป็นตัวมันเซนตาจะเป็นมันจะสั่งเจ้ามุชีเป็นเชื่อจีชีอ่ะเป็นชีลีนามองได้แต่ชีอยากขวาตัวพอเลยจีจ่อตัวเป็นจีขันเดียวพอเลยอยากเขาตัวชาของเราเราเป็นทอมิจีไอ้ก็เราหอตัวเป็นจานหนึ่งมองไอ้ก็เป็นตัวนี้เราติดเชื้อนาเราก็เราถือเดียเป้ยอีจานหนึ่งเป้หายรูเจอเป้มาก็เลยเกใจเจอเราเป้มาใจจื้อเป้เจอเทียนั่นก็รัวที่เลยใช้ต่อเป้หาเป้เราเทียมันลงเกมยอดตันเต้หายเดียเป้จิตถือจะใจนอเทียเป้จิตถือลีนอไอ้ยนี่หุ่นชิจ่าลีนอซื้อนอเจถอดรัวจะนอจุ่มในการรัวจิตต่อเป้เลยแหละวันนั้นก็มาเปี้ยยากูเปี้ยยาจะยิ่งจิงการัวป้อนเจเฮ้ถอดเกอกูไม่ตัวนอจื้อล้อมันก็ย่อหอบนอนหายเตียgiờ này chỉ cho qua thì tòn tên là quân chân tiền là cho rambo không nên nè quân chân nên thì rồi thì giờ biết qua cho chơi nó là chỉ tiền là không biết là chưa biết thì tiền là chơi ít bây giờ trang ga thì qua là thế nào chỉ thôi từ má chỉ là biết chấm nâng biết chỉ bỏ hai là thì hai giờ thầu thế này hai giờ chỉ qua chơi thầu nó giờ cơ một thì qua thì thầu nó chơi mong có quan trọng không được đâu chỉ giờ từ tháp lo nó chơi này một tăng mạnh mà ta xin nóแต่ลิจ่าตอนเราสิปังกว่าหัวในจันทร์ชายเทียจอตู้เจนสันเจไปจอในตัวเจ้าเตจนะไปจอหล่อมาท้อกันนี่เกิดเทียนี่ตัวรักการหลอนเราจอหล่อถ่าเทียเดียจอเกจเนี่ยจอหล่ออีจืดจอเชียตาชินะเจ็บปวดช่วงเราเลยวันลิจ่านั่นนี่มาจอมันทะเลถ่าไอ้กับเทียงกากีเจ chỉ cuốn chỉ bé lò lì nó bé cho chạy tại xin nó cuốn nói tụi mình cả hai nó nên mong chỉ tới cho chạy mà xin tận đua ta là chỉ xí nữa nè chỉ là nó chỉ là tút thua bé là tí giờ tên là chuyện đã qua này nâng qua thế này thôi lấy sau tới cho chạy là ta lấy ba là xin là chỉ lần từ lắm mà chỉ tao là lúa qua lên đó lại lúa theo bảo mang lại họ bé là vì bé ba nó sau tới này chỉ nhẹ chỉ này chúa ta phát ta phăng anh này sau tới bé chỉ nhẹ bé chúa ta phát ta phăng này lần từ bữa sáng là qua mà chỉ giờ chỉ này cho lúa ta xin nó chỉ chỉnh gà này bón chè lên là nó chỉ con nó bé cho lò bé cho phải nhà cho bé từ hút chỉ thế là cả mẹ rồi này là tao mà mảng gà là thế cả dê bé là cả bò thế bé cô lấy trả bé thì kho tao bé trả nâng một lẽ tòn tê mỗi y nu bé thả nhau bé rõ nó thấu nâng xí tua bự lương đó là em cho nó cho hà lý trả hay thì mình cái này nu tua nó trả lấy chữ hà lý thì chỉ bé mong tôi mà năng sử phim tờ everyday theo nó sao chỉ tàu bé một thả này tôi khâu điều nữa hay trả nếu mua đu mua đâu mua mẹ mua nó nè chỉ cho này cho thằng này đến đời này bé tôi ba này lòng do liền nữa hay là nó chỉ bé tôi đời bé chó tỏ ra nó tấm bản lương lớn mà đi uoเลยจ้ะchỉ khó nó cho chúng để bé ít chán nè cái tại sao bé cho crochet là chỉ là một cú sai đấy giờ bé chỉ uo rồi nó thế chế nên từ là uo làm chơi rồi nhon á mà giờ nó khó nó cú sai đấy nên cho mình nhận thế nên bé sâu trơn đại muốn cho cái này cái trái á chỉ nên cho mình nhận giờ thì nên chỉ tao là nung cho sànhแต่กูlà mua bây giờ nhớ lại cho nó là mua nên cho mình nhận cho cá tư chỉ hậu xia haiตัวไปคอมูเจียเตียไปยมุดชัวไปมาคอมูก่อเฮาเชื่อเดกับตามาไปเทียมุดต่อยาตอนเต้เนี่ยสู้จ้ะ
กูสันจีเอาไปหลอดตัวเตียยอดจะโปรโตคอลนะเขานอนอย่างอีเจ้าเก๋รงกอลีเขาเลอร์ไปอยู่คนยีถ้าเธอแต่งซื้อมาทอก็ไปจีนในมงจีชมาทัวร์จะให้เนี่ยจะ advocate จะไปจะเนาะเนี่ยยัง advocate กูตัวแข่งเนี่ยยัง advocate over 25 years but I don't get paid for okay go interpret not to shelter, go interpret to the court, a lot of things that I've done in the past. Advocate for women, okay? The reason they advocate because of the older generation in the late 80s and early 90s. That's why they take okay? Chỉ bây giờ nó bây giờ mua bây giờ bao trắng là thì cho cái DV hết đấy, để bây giờ là họ luyện nhất đó nó. Hiện lên đó có một số America cái Constitution là uổng nhục không có câu the 10 the Bill of Rights. That she learns in Nango, Xiaozhong, amended 27 times. Law trong digital perfect kan. Hiện nay có xã hội đâu bây hạt địa, bây mà ua tàu thằng thi nó, bây mà liên danh gì rồi, bây mà khó rồi. There's always room for improvement. Giờ hạt địa này cho DV advocate, này volunteer, làm một ba này chỉ nên mong họ lúc còn có gì sang. Yes, này ở gì số mong ta văn sản văn thi này là ba bây chỉ là hạt bé chỉ có bé những khi lúc bé lúc họ trong lụt giải tán này là ba bé dạng đó na, em quý hay tu niệm chế tiết của Hà Linh là phụ đó này.
Just a quick summarization. Von Bank encourages the domestic violence advocates to collaborate with us, and that our door is open, and we'll be willing to collaborate and work it out and to strengthen the Hmong family. So it's all in a few words, and then. Not sure, mention real quickly about the protocol and that it is a very, it's a system that is really old. It's new to our white community or mainstream community. I'm sorry, I keep saying white. It's so, forgive me. But there's room for tweaking. There's room for improvement, and there's a lot of things that we could do to improve the process so that way it's acceptable to not only the Hmong people, but so that you as a mainstream community can understand why we utilize the system that we do. And he also mentioned that there's officials out there saying that you have created all these policies within your possession, and all of you signed, say you're going to use it, how come you don't use it? So he want to say that we created, we signed it, we agreed to use it, we must use it to improve the family. So all in a mouthful.
One last thing. Over here.
Oh, okay, one last comment and then we're going to close. Is that okay, Michelle? Okay.
All right. I'm quite disappointed to not see. I see that there are lack of advocates here. I've read the string of emails, and it's it becomes an assumption when you look at the 18 Clan Council and you say, okay, you know, they don't know anything, all right? And when being compared to the advocates who have over 100+ years of experience in their advocacy work in comparison to we cannot compare ourselves and our experiences, you know, and try to say that we do know more than the other. Everybody comes from a different professional area. And to me, I mean, to see this, it's unprofessional to bluntly throw assumptions, okay, that the Hmong 18 Council is inflexible. I have seen strings of emails go through it talking about the inflexibility of 18 Council. And I really wish that the advocates were here to question Go Yi Sing, to hold them accountable, because this is what Go Yi Sing is. This would hold true if the 18 Council refused to invite and request the expertise of the Hmong DV and SA and RFSP advocates numerous times, backdating 2 years.
Excuse me, I understand that there are a lot of things that happened in the past, but again, like I said at the beginning, I'd like us to not go back there. We're at where we are now, and we need to move forward.
Right, this is the purpose. The purpose today is so that we can move forward.
Excuse me, you're getting a little too loud and a little too boisterous.
My voice is a bit loud.
You're getting a little too boisterous for everyone.
What I'm saying here is that
I'm trying to be respectful, but we need to wrap this up.
I understand.
My
voice is loud anyway. I apologize.
If there's something you would like to say, we have the secretary here, we have the individual members of the council here, and you're welcome to talk with them. But right now, I really need to shut this forum down.
Let me state one more thing, okay? This isn't against anybody, okay?
Okay.
I normally just have a really loud voice given, but the fact is that, you know, we all want to work together. As advocates, as 18 Clan, let's join hands. Instead of, you know, bad-mouthing one another back and forth, let's really get together and work this through so that we can make our community a stronger community. And I really hope that all of us would join hands at the end and really take a look at one another and bring our differences and our expertise together so that we can form something out of this instead of dividing ourselves. That's the whole purpose of this thing. That's the whole purpose of putting all the protocols together. And I really hope that at the end of today's session that we all gather together to really approach this in a most positive way instead of pointing and blaming one another for our differences. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. I think that's why everyone is here, and that's what we'd like to do to move forward. Did you want to respond? I didn't want to cut you off. Yeah. Okay, so is there anything else? If there is anything that's going to be longer than about 30 seconds, we're going to need to refer you to somebody individually. I don't want to be rude and cut people off, but we really do need to. I, for one, have to get on the road and get back north. So let's have the ending words. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, cũng ở lò lù sổ đồ nói biết cờ nữa, lò lù nó cũng hay cho protocol nữa, biết vô kho ta chỉ biết chỉ là kho, chỉ hay này cho tu chọn xài cho tu cho kỹ ở mua la lì chú ý dùng, thì nó mà biếtว่าใจmà cầu gì tu sen ta là mà biết chỉ là chỉ kho ít tu tự chỉ tuแต่ก็kho li non là chỉ biết chỉ kho biết chỉ có, u linh đỡ chỉ vô chỉ hậu lợi. Mà cho chạy những sĩ mù kia lên đó là tôi giờ yên kỳ từ giờ hai tia khổ là lo nó chỉ cho ít phần bùa có kho chỉ biết thế kho đó là nó ở chỉ hai tia này cũng hay nó chạy chỉ nên thứ thả thế kho nóจะ拼chỉ kho nó này sátตัวbiết khởi chia ta chỉมีอยู่chỉ tao kho ta chỉ vì biết thế sai ta biết thua chỉ taoแล้วmà cho mù sĩ cho cổ gì cho mù sĩ đợi cho tới mình cái lời họ lúc mediation nó cho mù sĩ khổ có từ là tia nó chỉ thằng nó biết mình tì lọt kho nó ô li bây số plong để cho nên bỏ trong mà bây giờ khó tàu bây giờ xong tới tôi cả bây giờ nó chỉ khó chỉ tàu cái này tàu liền là cái này giờ lý lượng code mày international lý cho hậu lử khó tí liền đó mà giờ cha lý này có khi tao số mà bây giờ khó thông tới cũng sát phải là luôn nó cho bây giờ nhiệt chế cho xài cổ chua tu ở đây tao số cho internet cái mình cho lú tua ở chỗ này cái sơ sinh ở chỗ này có khăn sơnแต่สิตัวเชียนี่จิตัวนู้นเนาะแต่ตัวนี้เอาไปตัวละยงนี่เสียเจริญนี่จะรู้ฟ้ามันโดนแล้วเสด็จนะไปจะนอจะว่าจิตัวเชียไปจิสาลิจาแต่สิสากันนี่ตัวนอซื้ออันนี้ที่ตัวนอนี่เลยจะมูหายตัวแล้วเสด็จวันนี้เนาะก่อเสด็จเนาะบ้าเชียชอบหายไหวนอตัวป้ากูยีสิงว่าจะเรียกกูยีสงใจซื้อเจไปยิงหัวเลยจิตาลีมันเนี่ยเนาะสาฟ้าลีเนาะนี่เสด็จlúc nãy tỏn đây giờ này luôn bây giờ ít cho khu rồi đó mà này ít nhiều bảo này cho cái sòng đông đời trong internet li này sòng nó trong cái lời tại vì mà trong li này chỉ sòng li leadership này chỉ sòng li này vậy tụi nọ nè anh này sòng li giờ cái sĩ giá sĩ chơi nó chỉ không được chỉ do này thì bảo luôn mình cái thì bảo nói mình cái it's not officially chỉ vậy officially đỡ là cả nè mà giờ trong linh đạo nó chỉ ít cho tao hay thì giờ sĩ giá sĩ chế thì sẽ thay sĩ destroy nó chỉ chỉ là, bây giờ chỉ hay là chỉ mà thọ cái lựa chọn này xong đó này xong rồi chỉ trong sẽ có từ hay specific là con đó cái từ chỉ hậu chỉ hay linh đạo có từ chỉ do chỉ hay con đó bây giờ lâu thì bao nhiêu này khó, này chúa lý chế bây giờ có nhiều nó cầu chế này sĩ trong tao từ ta luôn,จะมีตู้มีนใส่นะmà giờ li mà chỉ nó mù chỉnh cho bây giờ này này gì, nếu đã chỉ bây giờ này naนี่สาวปุระจีตัวจีเป๊ะเขียนในตานทออย่าเป๊ะป้อนี่สาวอะไรอย่าตีเชื่อละเป๊ะเชื่อนี่เป๊ะจีจงลีอีเทียสตู้สายสายเดียยันนี่ลองเลยตากันนู้นเลยเป๊ะจีเนี่ยเลยจะ system เป๊ะจีเนี่ยเลยจะเกจใจเย่เป๊ะวันนี้เล่นตีฮารินอจีตรงเลยสาวหนอจีตัวมูจีเดียวิเดียป้องเลยกูให้ลูกเชื่อนะเป๊ะหายหนึ่งเทียนตัวนี่หายหนึ่งจีตัวอย่าเป๊ะหายหนึ่งตัวเท่านี้นะตัวงานนี่นะลูกหนึ่งตอนเรียนนี่รู้ว่ากูยิ่งสิ่งประธานกูยิ่งสิ่งรู้ว่านี่เนอะเชื่อเป๊ะgiờ đi mà cũng thắp phá cho lúa nọ hay rồi này cổ cho tuần tới cả thắp tu xe na tôi chỉ lúa nọ là ngã cho lúa nọ mua hay thì bé cổ gì sẽ yên chỉ chỉ thế thì rồi hay là chỉ hay rồi rồi cái bé bao xí kho nó sẽ để vào cho
he want to verbalize that the protocol there will be ways of changing that. But it would have been, it takes time, just like everything that you have said as a bylaw, that there's a process to go about that, and it will take time, and voting system within the 18th Council. In addition to that, he reaffirmed that we are not mad for all the emails and all the complaints out there. We thank you for writing those, he said, and that in the future, we should communicate directly, or perhaps write official letters to us, and be very specific as to what is it that we need to fix. And we open our doors and our arms so that you can come in and do what you need to do and share your thoughts and concerns with us so that we can make that change. Or if we cannot make that change, we'll find a way to deal with the situation in the right way. So he said, we're not mad, and that's true. Me, as the Vice President of 18th Council, I want you to know we are not mad. We just want to make sure that everybody have the courage to step up and say, we need you to listen. Can we have a meeting with you? And so that's the way it needs to be, okay? And this is President Jaivoa. He's going to do a closing remarks.
Rongxia, và bé lô kế sĩ thả nông nọ giờ in nông trừng chân chạp lờ. Và thế chia sẻ hạt bé tổ kế cùng tề lòn đờ sở sở đờ thia yếu tỏ tàu chờ bé của dì sẵn. Giờ nên mua la lì chữ gì đã chỉ là xã tiền này yang gà tua dì cho bé cho chữ gì thia bé sĩ chỉ kho. Bé mua luôn năng là tòn đề. Cái bỏ hạt tiệp bê sẽ đờ nọ tôi sẽ thản không nọ giờ ít khó bê chú bê lu xia luôn trừ tiệp bê sơn được cho kế hạt tiệp cho kế nó giờ bê sẽ đờ yếu tàu nô nọ nê mua đã chỉ thì từ mua đã chỉ là thọ cả là sơn luôn cho kế bê tàu tí trò thia mù tí sợ kế bê thì lại bỏ ra kế và mình để dùng xe để sửa tua cổng thia kế sĩ thả nó nó giờ chẳng chẳng chấp là tôi từng sĩ thả nó nó giờ hay cho kia cho kế hậu sinh thia cho kế gian dần là trò bê sửa bê tôi sĩ thả nó nó bỏ hạt tiệt sau tới khó rong cần gò lòn tập bê sửaวันนี้ตัวมันเต้าเราหลุนงอย่าอีจอหลุจังจังเป้ก็ยิ่งสั่งอย่าตัวจอมเคยเชล่าเทียจังเจียจอเป้เดียคอนี่หนุ่มเราอย่าได้จีเทียเป้อยู่ว่าเอท้อวันนี้เสด็จเจ้าเป้เขาหลุดเทียสาวลีนอนี่จะก้ามือว่ามือเจเราก็มือก้ามือหูมือเดิมมือจงจีเกนักการย่อจงตัวกับสัตว์เชอจ้อมือกับสัตว์เจsao ban này mình nhua, cứ đã chỉ có tao đã chỉ, u đã chỉ có tao đã chỉ, có cho kiến chơi bên mông, cho kế vả mình, có lọt cho bên nông nọ là toàn đấy, vô châu.
He just really quickly want to thank all of you for being here and that your questions are very important and that today is a good day. Today is a day that we come and share thoughts and ideas and collaborate. So he wished that the good Lord may watch you as you make your journey home and have a safe trip. And again, as the Vice President of Hmong 18 Council, I want to thank you as well. I know that this is a long day, okay? So you have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Okay, bye đó.
Cho sắp phát sinh mi cho mi link từต้องการหลายวิดีโอว่าตั้งกูโชว์nóจะmi sang email ตัวกูยังมอปิดหลายต้นสีเจ้าไอ้กูมาเลยมอคาปีsangจุเมแต่สิยังลิงตือยังไม่ชีsangได้กูเจ้ากูส่งแต่ไม่ชีย้อนเจ้ากูชีsangตัวเมียยังลิงตือย้อนเจ้าหากูป้ากูมาsangตัวเมียนะโอชนดา